Hi, my name is Greg Litchfield. During the time when the Bible was still being written, people put a lot of emphasis on the meaning behind a person's name because it told you something about them. My first name is Gregory, and that means vigilant, like a watchman on the wall of a fortified city. One possible meaning of my last name is a clearing in a dense forest, kind of like a light in a dark place. I was born in Coldwater, Michigan, and I have too often been in hot water since then. I'm currently living in Omaha, Nebraska. I graduated from high school in 1965 and almost immediately joined the Air Force, where I served for 30 years working in communications electronics maintenance fields. During my Air Force career, I managed to cram a 4 year college degree into 30 years, graduating with a bachelor's degree in computer studies with a secondary in business management. After retiring from the Air Force, I worked for 19 years at Grace University, a faith based institution of higher education, helping to keep their computers running right. As you may be able to deduce, I had to retire twice to get it right. So far, I've made 78 trips around the sun, and in the process of living, learned a thing or two. Some through formal education, some through personal investigation, but most in the school of hard knocks. Learning the things the hard way is often painful, but seldom needing a repeat lesson. Some of those things I learned I wish I could have learned earlier in my life. That brings me to the reason for creating this channel. I hope to offer you what can be an easier, less painful way to learn some of the things I learned later in life. I grew up in a Christian home. I was the third son out of six. My father was a pastor, so in my early years I had a drug problem. Every time it was open, I got drugged to church. I treated church and Sunday school as an intellectual exercises and learned about the Lord. By the time I graduated from high school and joined the Air Force, I knew the answers to all the Sunday school questions, but I had not spent much effort trying to build a relationship with the Lord. I still believe if I had died any time between 18 and 33, I would have missed heaven by about 18 inches. I don't get didn't get serious about my relationship with the Lord until I was 33. I had just spent 30 days helping build my parents' retirement home in Michigan. While I was there, my mother told me about all the trouble she had getting that project going. She often ran into roadblocks or dead ends trying to get one of the necessary steps done. When that happened, she would pray about it, and later, either she'd read about or someone would tell her about what turned out to be the solution to the problem. When my time to help came to an end, and I was driving back to Mississippi, where I was stationed at the time, I started thinking about my life. I'd decided several years earlier that I wanted to help build my parents' retirement home, but I realized that was the only real goal I had ever set in my life. Since that goal had been met, I felt like I was a ship without a rudder. Then I started thinking about my mother's stories and how she always had the direction she needed when she needed it. And that was when I finally asked the Lord to live in me and give me that kind of direction. Minutes after making that decision, I started thinking I should probably start attending church. At that point, my first wife and I had been married for 12 years. During that time, we mostly only went to church when relatives visited over a Sunday. I knew that once my wife made up her mind about something, I would probably not be able to get her to change her mind. So I prayed, told the Lord I didn't want to go to church alone, and I asked Him if He would help me get her to go with me. When I got home and walked in the house, my wife and I exchanged greetings, and then she said to me, I think we should start going to church. Needless to say, I was flabbergasted. That happened in 1980. The Lord has been leading me, drawing me closer to Himself, and helping me make all of my decisions ever since. I don't have any theological degrees. but I have been reading the Bible every day since 1982. I've also attended dozens of Bible studies over the years and even led a few. For many years, I was a certified lay servant leader in the United Methodist Church. That's someone a pastor can call on to preach if he needs to take a Sunday off. I feel like the Lord has called me to create this channel. Like a watchman on the wall, I see some problems in the church, and I believe it is my duty to warn people of the pending danger. Also, like the meaning of my last name, I believe I am called to reflect a little of His light into a really dark place. I have a long list of videos I want to create, but don't know how often I'll be able to post a new one. So click on the subscribe button and you will be notified when I do. I really hope you will find this content helpful.